How to pick a name for your dog training company in this episode of Katz on Marketing. Stick with me. So, the name of your company is probably not as important as you think it might be. But here are some tips that I use when I start a new company to choose a good name. So, if you think about some of the most successful companies, you're going to quickly realize that the names of those companies are completely irrelevant to what they actually do. Names like Google. I mean, what is a Google? Now it's a verb, but when Google started, nobody knew what a Google was. Yahoo, IBM. I mean, everybody knows that IBM stands for International Business Machines. At least I think that's what it stood for. But see, it's not even important because you think about IBM, you know exactly what they do. Now, they spent a lot of money to gain that mind share, and you don't have to do that. But that being said, here are some tips to kind of help you pick a name if you haven't picked a name yet. What I like are short names and names that are very easy to remember, and also names that immediately communicate what the company does, what your business does. Because it's a lot, since we don't have multi-million dollar ad campaigns like Coca Cola or Google or IBM or whatever, we have to have a name that immediately communicates what we do. So I highly recommend that in most cases, you probably want to incorporate the name dog training into your business name. So my most recent company was named Katz Trains Dogs, and I just happened to have a short enough name that something like that would work. If my name had been Leibowitz or Vettinezzini, it would have probably not worked as well. But since I had a short name, Katz Trains Dogs, and there was the little play on words with cats and dogs, it worked really well to immediately communicate what we do. So here's what I want you to think. I want you to think about somebody sitting behind you in traffic and they see the graphics on the back of your vehicle and they've only got a second before the light change. So they see it and they have to remember it and they have to immediately understand what it is that you do. That's how you pick a name. Now, if you already picked a name and maybe you made a mistake and it doesn't incorporate what you do, that's okay. It's probably not going to make that much of a difference in the long run. Maybe it brings you an extra client or two a year, but if you can, you want to tag on the term dog training at the bottom beneath uh, your name if it doesn't immediately communicate what you do. If you look at one of the largest franchise operations in the dog training niche, Sit Means Sit, if you just saw the name Sit Means Sit, maybe you know what it meant, maybe you wouldn't. But if you notice, what they do is they typically put Sit Means Sit dog training beneath the name Sit Means Sit. Not always, but usually. So that's my tip for choosing a good name for your dog training company. Now, I had somebody ask me recently, and it wasn't trying to be a smart aleck or anything, and it was a good question. It was a legitimate question. So don't take this the wrong way. I'm not bagging on the guy that asked me this question, but he said, hey, Mr. Smart Guy, hey, Mr. Marketing Expert, why does your own company, why is your own company called Browning Direct? And I had to go through the whole process of explaining it. Basically, I picked the name Browning Direct as kind of an umbrella name for an umbrella corporation over 20 years ago. And the name actually came from a red Doberman I had that was more kind of brown colored. So we named the dog Browning, and it made sense since we were a direct response marketing company to call the company Browning Direct. I actually chose that name because I didn't want something specifically identifiable with any specific service or business. And the reason for that was at the time we had a number of different online businesses. We had dogproblems.com, which was a dog trainer type business. We had another peripheral website called Dog Trainer Club, which was for the professional dog training sector, which we no longer have. We also had a dating website that we owned. We had a real estate investment information product business that we owned, and a couple others. And we were always testing and launching new things. And I didn't want to have to set up a brand new merchant account for every single one. So I specifically chose a generic sounding name to structure my businesses around, so that we wouldn't have to get a new merchant account every time we tested a new idea. So, a quick word on using the word canine in your business name. I would encourage you to use the words dog training instead of canine, and here's why. A couple reasons. Number one, when I started my first dog training company in Southern California, I named it South Bay Canine Academy and came to realize that a lot of people naturally assumed or immediately assumed that we did police dog training. And I don't know how many clients didn't call me because of that. But I do know that a lot of people told me, give me immediate feedback and say, oh, you know what? We weren't sure if we should call or not because we weren't sure if you did just canine training. In their mind, canine meant police dog. So the subsequent dog training businesses that I started, we then started up a company, a small company in Las Vegas for a little bit, and then Reno, Nevada. I was very concerned about not using the phrase K9 or K-9 for that very reason. Now, that being said, if you already have named your company and it has the word K9 in it, don't worry about it. Not really that big of a deal. You know, Jeff Gelman owns a company called Solid Canine in, I believe, Maryland or Rhode Island, somewhere on the East Coast. I'm in the West Coast. Anything like east of the Mississippi, we have it all kind of blends together. But very successful dog trainer. Josh Leverett in the Bay Area, Cali Canine, very successful dog trainer. So it's not like it's going to ruin your business. You don't need to go out tomorrow and change your business name. But what I am saying is that if you choose to use the phrase dog training in your business name rather than canine, it's going to be easier for people to understand what you do. And number two, there is a natural SEO benefit. So when people type in dog training your city, um, there's a better chance that if your business name incorporates the phrase dog training, that the organic ranking for your dog training business will likely come up in those searches, which is just like an added benefit. So why not? Anyways, thanks for listening, guys. Those are my tips for picking a name for your dog training company. I'm Adam Katz for Burning Direct. Hey, if you need more clients, if you've already got a dog training company up and running and you need more clients, we manage Google AdWords campaigns and typically get between 5 to 11 times or more return on investment. So get in touch with me and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel below so you'll get immediate notification every time I come out with a new video. Take care, guys.